doesn't want to take it.
Okay, so for Bren Esports, yes, you have the lead, but you cannot go for those risky plays. You need to mind your position. As Burmese Ghouls, they have a lot of disposition. Maybe with the Hurricane Dance, if he catches you overextending, that is going to be a divided fight for your team.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that Burmese Ghouls, although they are ticked by the Khalid that has been causing them quite a lot of upset over the top side, they have managed to turn things around. And speaking of which, ejector on towards D. He's running for his life, but this is definitely going to be a goner for the side of Burmese Ghouls to try to rescue him in that sort of sense. So they have to give him up. Now, 4 versus 5 on this turtle, I think they also have to give even more back towards Brent Esports.
Credits to Lusty. He's doing an amazing job with these catches. However, he is collecting those kills. But for now, it's like, yeah, okay, you've got the Athena shield. I don't mind tanking a couple of Abyssal arrows.
Yeah. Kid is throwing those arrows, he's hitting those arrows, but the problem is Lusty is just always in his...
Oh! Punish!
Like that?
Again! Unstoppable Force as well! The Salmon Force is going to be popped out of the Blazing Duet coming in from Ace, but Ace is kind of big here. He can't finish them off. Now Rubini D is going to be the onslaught to try and push them down. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. It's a 2-for-2 trade. It's looking real good. Can they get another one? Flapteasy jumps off the wall to try and pull through it. D, he catches him off. Ace still with the orange buff. This is going to be huge. Oh my goodness. What a great fight coming in from both of these teams. But Bren still coming up on top.
Yeah, you can definitely see that D was actually controlling the tempo right there, but let's have a look at the items, Butters. I'm pretty sure that now some of these players are pretty huge in this match.
Okay, Karltizi will go for the Endless Battle. He's just setting it up. But while for Ace, he has the Demon Hunter sword, and that is going to go to a Golden Staff. That's pretty standard. But one of the players that you really have to look out for is Ruby DD. He has the Calamity Reaper, the Feather of Heaven, and that is going to be bad for Brent Esports if they do not take account of this hero. They need to look. They need to be aware of their surroundings. They need to choose their fights. Don't fight on narrow spaces if they want to win this. But for Burmese Schools, if you want to win, place your fights there.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've been looking at all these sort of picks, right? Just look at Lusty. He's actually going in towards a full armor build as well as getting tanky as it goes. But he's managing that 5 kills every single time that he goes in for the effort. Just going for the Unstoppable Force, trying to catch either Kid or at times maybe because he's the first target that you see most of the time, right? So making sure that you don't have Hurricane Dance when you need it the most is going to be very vital.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Hurricane Dance is a huge spell, but the Mountain Chakra coming out from Bren Esports' side, really smart stuff, especially when they're taking Turtle. Burmese Ghouls, they want to go in, but only when it's inconspicuous. Baby, he jumps on in with a 1000-pounder and now forces out Lusty into that corner with the Hurricane Dance, forcing out the fight. Ruby Kid is going down. Ace already coming in with a Blazing Duet. It's not going to be enough. He does get the Golden Staff, but the rest of the team, Bren is on the run. Can they turn this around? He turns it and tries to go. Kid gets on top of him. The Salmon Force have been working out perfectly well, and they catch them out again. Kid, this Wonder Kid landing every important Abyssal arrow yet.
What did we tell them about not going in for the jungle invade, but Rainbow now going for the catch as well. He's trying to pick up Ruby DD. This is gonna look pretty bad because Brand Esports loses another one, leaving only Karltizi behind.
Brand Esports, they're making these risky decisions that they shouldn't be even taking. They have the lead as of now, and after that, I think Burmese Ghouls, they know that they can fight at this point on 50 seconds on the timer on that Lord, and that is going to be the first major fight here that Burmese Ghouls is going to take.
And I mean, the picks have been going really well. Let's look at the items one more time to get a better idea, because I did see Karltizi actually getting the Endless Battle as well as the Blade of Despair all of a sudden, 2 in a row, and yeah, he is going to have a ton of damage already hitting level 15 on top of that.
You know what? Ace has his own items as well, and in terms of damage output, he has an AoE.
There we go. And it's going to mount the shotgun being used and expanded. Immediately reply with the Hurricane Dance as well, pinning him down towards the wall. Here comes FGA trying to actually pop out that Electo into play. But my goodness, there's a split push coming on from the side of D. As Burmese goes, they're tearing out some of all these members to different parts of the map. But Ripple now in the middle of it all. It's going to be Abyssal Arrow trying to connect towards the side of Brand Esports. Baptiste, he does get a lot of damage out towards the side of Ace, but Ace walks away alive. But still, D is on the back. They might just actually look for pigs, but we're going in for a little bit of room to just dissect this big fight that just erupted.
Oh my goodness, these fights have been absolutely ridiculous here, but right now the major issue that I'm seeing now, especially since the 8th minute, sorry, no, pull it back one more minute, the 7th minute of the game here, is the fact that Benedetta isn't exactly clearing her waves before she joins that fight, resulting in a lot of well, not even missed opportunities, just a lot of gold for free going over to the side of the Burmese schools. Like, Yuzong getting a huge push on that top side shouldn't be happening.
And this is where Brand Esports, I think, is having tunnel vision. Like, they just want to win the fights, and they know that they can. But still, if it's going to be an even, it's going to be an even trade. Like, let's say 2 for 2.
Leo?
Then someone just, you know, gets a push onto the bottom lane. That's going to the side of Burmese schools.
Totally fair, but Leo, what are some of your thoughts on this while we're in this in-game pause?
This reminds me of Game 4. Remember Game 4? It was all Bren in the early game. And then as soon as the marksman, Ace, and Ruby DD came online, it's over. This is what it's turning about far. It's frustrating to see Bren just fall for apps again, like, oh, here's one. No, we got you. And then Burmese goes turn around. And again, the accuracy of D on this Selena is just ridiculous.
Oh, you mean Kid, actually.
Kid. Well, yeah, Selena on Kid on Selena. It is what it is.
It honestly really is nasty. And Aaron, I want to get your thought on this because, again, the chase, just the fact that Burmese ghouls, when they get that first initial pick, they really know how to chase you down.
Yeah, and immediately, that's where the Akai responds. And will all of them just topple all these sort of members all the way in towards that dive, and look at all these sort of these scenarios that has came by. Like, the Yuzong also roams freely. Like, it's something that, honestly, Burmese Skulls definitely knows they're not going to be focusing on towards these Yuzong anyways, and he gets that free reign up top, now opening up the map. So someone has to deal with this situation where, when they go in towards fights, because this sort of split push can happen again.
That's how bad it is for Bren Esports right now, is because D is having the time of his life up top, and the mere fact that out there is maybe this Akai, it just splits open the map and again gives D all the space to just wreak havoc in one single lane. Gideon, has this changed your mind? Do you like the Akai now? Are you a believer?
I'm not 100% believer on it. Butters, what do you think?
I think it's actually effective against this side of Brand Esports.
It stops you from making those important plays, like your positioning. You gotta keep it in check. But Brand Esports, they've been falling for these traps, and that is why I think Akai is working.
I don't think Akai is working at 100%. I would give it's working at 70% efficiency here.
Hey, 70% is better than less than 50.
Agreed. However, my biggest concern for the side of Brand Esports is mainly Flapteasy, because he knows he's supposed to be this big damage dealer for the team, and he feels like, I gotta be in this fight, but he's gotta believe that Carl Teasy is able to pull this out, because at the end of the day, Flapteasy's job is to make sure they don't lose side objectives when these fights occur. He clears faster than the Yuzong. He rotates faster than the Yuzong every single time.
True enough, but speaking of buying time here, it's going to be maybe it being that sort of the non-value target that is always bugging the back lines or the front lines of the side of Brand Esports, and Emily buying time for this Lord, and it will be Burmese Ghost that gets it in the way. Flicker being popped there from the side of Lusty. Ace goes in for the blaze, 8-1. They get that ping on towards the Giant, but look at maybe he does lose a lot of health, but Flapteasy coming in to cut right through. Ruby DD tries to turn this one around. Flapteasy has to make a way to Ash right out, but the rest of Brand Esports, they're slowly being wiped away.
Oh my goodness, Burmese Ghouls. They're so good with these reinitiations. The counter engage, they go for a fake back, then Brand Esports chases. Burmese Ghouls just surprises them by pushing forward as well.
I mean, Bren, they are getting hot-headed here. They are really tunnel visioning all these situations. The moment the Lord is gone, yes, you can force, but again, I have to admit, even I would have fallen for something like that. But again, discipline is going to be key because the Burmese Ghouls managed to outplay so many of them. Flaptizi ended up getting solo killed by RubyDD, even though he did have the execute. Something you don't usually see.
Yeah, and just look at how huge Ace is at right now. But over the top side, there's also another situation going on. They're trying to force their way through as Ripple is already clearing out the wave. Over on the mid side, you can definitely see Flaptizi keeping an eye out as well. Oh, great damage onto Kid, but Missile Arrow does not land. Now, they do find a way to actually open up the bottom side, and the side lane's pretty much exposed.
Oh boy, it's going to be a game of scaling here. RubyDD is able to get another inhibitor turret on top of everything else. And Ace, he comes in with a Battle Mirror image. He's also got the orange buff, so he does a bit of damage, bringing Flaptizi down to 50% of his HP.
Okay, maybe. This is something that Akai does as well, Gideon. Like, you can't really position yourself near the brushes just because there could be a hurricane dance that's about to hit you. And he does have the flicker as well. It's not the same as your Akai Petrify. He can position himself well with this.
And also now that he's purchased that immortality, having 2 lives into play, and this can go on for so much longer. Mountain Shocker exposes Kid, so he's going to be falling back. But Flaptizi being pretty much close proximity. It might just be a pick right here. Brilliants have already been popped coming from the Lunox, but maybe trying to force the issue right now. Brent Esports respecting the dives, and Lusty gets caught out. Flickers away, but still having Ace picking him off. It's a mega kill for the Yuzong. 2 members down, and man, Brent Esports needs to defend for their lives right now.
And honestly, maybe is doing a really good job acting as a threat. Flaptizi is going to clear up the waves as soon as he can, but now RubyDD is getting into that backline, drops that Salmon Force, gets that free kill, and Bren, they just got to let this one escape here. 10 more seconds till Lusty comes back up, but wait, there is no wave. Oh no, it's going to be Flaptizi who's going to get caught out here, stuck against the wall.
Oh!
That's going to be GG. Burmese Ghouls take the 5th round.
Burmese Ghouls at match point, and they are feeling good about this. They feel confident. You can hear them screaming. It's there. One more game for Burmese Ghouls. Just one more game.
They need that championship point in hand, and oh my goodness, they are sitting pretty and just needing that few more steps in towards the finish line. And Leo, honestly, is it signs that Brent Esports are losing a lot of energy to cross that hurdle?
I don't know if it's frustration, if it's fatigue, if it's just the way that they play. They're not used to battle of attrition like this. But if there's anything I'm seeing, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the caster's desk, is the fact that it's deja vu. This feels like game number 4. Bren obviously had the early half of that game up until the point wherein Burmese Ghouls were just reading them and telling them, all right, fight over here, pick off 1, 2. Fight over here, fight over here, fight over here, pick off 1, 2. And then they just come to the point wherein Bren can't even leave their own base.
Oh boy, I totally agree, and especially towards the later stages of the game, Akai just became more and more relevant, especially when the Yuzong was pretty much unstoppable at that point of time, really.
There is a difference. Well, I did discuss this earlier. There is a difference between the Akai Petrify and the Akai Flicker.
Yeah.
The Akai Flicker has a lot of gap closers, the 1000 Pounder, the Flicker as well. And you saw that at the final play of Akai. He used that to just go and catch Carl and Flap, the TZ brothers, in the same wall.
And that's all that matters, right?
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. So Gideon, now that Burmese Ghouls have locked in their 3 games, they're 1 away from being named the M2 World Champions for 2020. Are you a believer now in the Akai? Has this changed your mind, or is 1 game just 1 game?
One convert this and this will be more than that 50% that I mentioned.
Numbers. numbers, but I'm not 100% believer. I do think that there are very clear weaknesses, and you have to kind of give it the kid who kind of compensated for the fact that Akai was essentially a non-factor until he hit level 4.
All right, so he helped out. So Kid was the training wheels.
Yeah.
Slowly, Akai might get there, but
Exactly.
we need more reps. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our take on game number 5. Wow. Those words leaving my lips just gives me the shivers because it could all end in the very next minutes. All right, stay with us because we're going to have our analysts, Lafel and Wolf, breaking down game number 5. Boys, tell us.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And yeah, right now it's basically BG game point, where again, it looks like they were like, okay, we didn't do so good in the early and the mid stages, but in the late game, we got it. My name is Lafel, and this is Wolf. Wolf, talk us through it. What happened?
Oh man, space for Ace is getting truer and truer every game that we watch Burmese Schools. And I think that this is off of the fact that everybody else from Burmese Schools understands Mobile Legends, particularly in understanding win conditions.
Exactly.
This particular game, they know that they are not that strong in the early stages. In fact, they have conceded some of the important objectives, but what they did not concede is the farm on the Cloud. And I have to really give a lot of emphasis on
Yeah.
which was, by the way, first picked by the Burmese Schools. There's a difference maker.
And right now, let's look at the itemization as well as the hero use in this game. And again, Selena, just like you said, Kid on Selena did work. First of all, in the early game, where Brand Sports, they tried to invade the jungle. But Selena, the traps, it hurts. And even win that 1v1 with the Lunox. And then after that, a lot of those crazy arrows hitting the targets from Brand Sports, creating a very, very easy initiation by the team of Burmese Schools, and making Brand Sports like, okay, could you stop? This kind of hurts.
Yeah. I want to say Khalid last pick by Brenny Sports. It made a lot of sense to me. And Rebo played his heart out. There were many times where he won his lane, was able to bail out the members of Burmese Schools. He picked up a good itemization with the casual Dreadnought armor as well as the Deadly Blade that kind of countered the sustain from Burmese Schools. My oh my, he performed so well. Unfortunately for Brenny Sports, it was a one-dimensional hero. That is the biggest problem you have with the Khalid. As strong as he is, you kind of know what he wants to do and what he brings to the table. Lusty played his heart out. Yisenship was also good. However, Brent Esports, they were too focused on winning those big objectives that they forgot they have to control the map.
And right now, if we could hold this image for just a little while, I want to prove your point.
Yeah.
Where Burmese Ghouls, they understand, it's like, hey, Brand Esports, we watch your games. You like that turtle? Take it. 4 turtles to Brand Esports and 0 to Burmese Ghouls. They're like, we don't need that right now. As important as it is, if they play the turtle, Brand Esports will win 8 times out of 10. So they're like, we do not want to take the chance.
Yep.
We just want to farm. Look at the Claude, 6, 0, 11. Itemization, basically almost full damage. Yes, the Wind of Nature is used in a more defensive kind of sense, but it's still attributing to the physical attack, as well as the Queen's Wings has the ability to sustain the damage just a little bit more. But the thing is, 6-0-11 is doing so good.
Brand Esports with the tempo and them understanding that they needed to take the turtles, it was so amazing to the point where I didn't notice that we had 4 turtles.
Yeah.
Because it is true. If you take the turtle for about 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and you continuously get it, you'll get to up to 4 turtles. That's why Brand Esports were leading by so much. However, Burmese Ghouls, they're playmakers. Like, look at this guy, Akai, 0 and 5. But can you say that he played badly in this game? Absolutely not. He knew exactly what his role was in this game, which was to make the space for Ace. Do take note, the Granite and the Claude, they will take a lot of time for them to get the farm up, but Burmese Ghouls know how to do it.
And right now the MVP of the game is going over to Kid with the Selena, because KDA don't matter. It matters what you do in the game, in the early stages of the game. Just like what our casters say, he's the training wheels. But the thing is, this training wheel really helped them out in the early stages of the game, making sure that they proceed to the mid stages a little bit safely, and in the late stages, giving all that crucial information to make sure that they don't get caught, making sure that those arrows hit a very clean initiation. And the thing is, this kid is good.
Yeah, he ain't kidding. That's one of my posts out there. this guy, the Selena, really punished Bren Esports many times in this particular game. Do take note, Bren Esports, they were leading. And it's natural for a team who's leading to kind of go up front and collide head-on against their opponent's side. And even if you look at the heroes of Bren Esports, they kind of want to go in front of their opponents. Like, you have the Khalid, you have the Joy, you want to go inside those fights. But the one-by-one audition happened once again.
Yeah.
They went in one after the other, and they were picked apart easily by Burmese Ghouls.
Either way, right now, Brand Esports is do or die.
Or die.
Whatever they need, coffee or whatever, they gotta get it right now, because if they lose, this is potential the final game. But if they win, then we're gonna go all out. It's basically gonna be a best of one all over again. We are gonna look closely at the draft, but more importantly, we want to see how the game is played according to those phases. If the early game Brand Esports play aggressive enough, that's good. But if they don't end it by, say, 12 minutes, 40 minutes, then Burmese Ghouls have a very good chance to end it out.
You know what's really scary about this? Burmese Ghouls have proven that they can defeat the Flapsha.
Yeah.
They can defeat the Carl TZ Lancelot.
Yeah.
They can defeat the Farsa. They have shown that some of they can defeat the Yuzong as well, right?
Yeah.
Burmese Ghouls have shown so much, and it's gonna be really scary on the side of Bren Esports. However, we do want to see a game number 7, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But with how Burmese Ghouls have been performing in the past 3 games, this is really scary. They look like a team that's in it to get that trophy on top of that turret.
Either way, even without that Diggy, looks like Burmese Ghouls, they still have a ticking time bomb. Beat us out by this time, if not, it's done. Either way, we're gonna go straight to the casters to go straight to our game, potentially the last game. My name is Avel, this is Wolf. Casters, please take it away.
Thank you so much, LaFell and Wolf, breaking down game number 5. Before this all begins, once more, we would like to thank Tumi for being the partner in esports for M2. As the journey to become the champion of M2 has been perfected with the latest Tumi luggage and backpack, you can bring your gear anywhere with you safely without worry. Be sure to check out Tumi.com to perfect your own journey and enjoy the M2 competition.
An established distributor of many well-loved consumer brands in Asia, the SUTL Group is proud to be MLB's partner in esports of 2021 for Fiji Water, iChung's It's Cups, and Mountain Dew. To find out more, visit www.sutl.com.
Catch the live streaming of the mega event Mobile Legends Bang Bang M2 World Championship 2020 held in Singapore for free on MeWatch. That's happening all the way from the 18th till today. So this is the very last match you're watching. If you're watching from MeWatch, what's good? A total of 12 teams have come to compete from 9 countries to win the lion's share of 300,000 USD, and it might all come to a head right here, right now. Game number 6. The Burmese are threatening a finish. And may I just say, I don't know, for our viewers, welcome, by the way. My name is Leo. This right here is Contra, Gideon Q, and Butters. And correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but Atanki Hakarar. That is
mean?
Burmese for impressive.
Very, very impressive indeed. And we saw a full throttle run coming from Burmese Ghouls. And wow, now this is the championship point that we're talking about. It's time that if Brand Esports need to find that answer to just halt and put a break on this full speed Burmese Ghoul side.
I don't know whether this is just the momentum here, because again, you can definitely see that, you know, when Brent starts off a game, they start really, really hot. And at that point in time, at least the idea for Burmese Ghouls, they understand, they wait for a particular power spike before taking back these fights. And they are very, very clear on when to do it as well.
Burmese Ghouls are really just disciplined. Like, from minute 1 to minute 20, their game won't change. They make adjustments here and there, but the core, the discipline, they don't take risky plays. If they ever take risky plays, then they make it a bit calculated. They go for the best path. Now for Bren Esports, they kind of have this, how do I say this? They really just, tunnel vision. They just want to get the kills as much as possible. They want to punish the first person they see on their side of the jungle. they're not really making the best plays for their side.
I see. They're getting frustrated, and I'm pretty sure, just the same as all of us here at the caster desk, viewers are sweating bullets, right? Viewers from Myanmar, they could walk away with the championship. Viewers from the Philippines, they're hoping for one more game, right?
Yeah.
But
Indeed.
I get what you're saying, Butters. I think it's frustration. I think it's frustration and a mix of fatigue because, do note, Brain Sports, they've been playing since the morning.
And,
Yeah. On top of that, of course, they also have to be a little bit more far-sighted because that's what Boom's goals are. Like, immediately we saw that Selena coming in with the first pick where like, something so volatile and you're going for the first pick, and it started to make so much more sense. They're looking for all these sort of setups alongside with the Akai. Yep, you got the mid shields coming in. As much as you don't trust Akai, you got to trust Panda, who's on stage drafting this game.
Panda has been drafting these games well. Ducky isn't really new to this certain kind of, let's say, certain kind of atmosphere. The grand finals, he's not new here. But for Panda, he's keeping his cool. He's making good pick. He's putting good drafts for his team, and his team really looks comfortable for Game 3, Game 4, Game 5.
Yeah, and I think honestly, Panda is just an inspiration to a lot, to basically everybody in Myanmar right now, because he's not like previously in M1, one of his players not exactly having the best of times. He stood in and said, "Don't worry, I will be the one who will take his position," and they went pretty far into M1. And I quoted then, "These guys have a lot of potential. Give them a year, and they're going to be back to win it." And I honestly didn't think that they would do it. It feels like it was only yesterday, and look at them now.
Yeah, and some may say it felt more like a year that these guys are playing with each other, and wow, it just felt like yesterday was, you know, the other tournament back then in 2019, and wow, they just changed so rapidly in every single match with those drafts.
Shocking everyone, right? Shocking everyone. Predictions out the window. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the reality we have. 2021 is the age of the Burmese ghouls. And right now, Brainy Sports, they have to disprove that. It's on them. They have to work extra hard.
Yeah, and clearly now Panda is just sitting there, just waiting, just rubbing his hands, brewing his next big strategy that he's gonna go for game number 6. For Bren Esports here, they look worried. They really look worried.
I mean, this is match point. Like, when you get to that, honestly, a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be in an environment once you have reached the pinnacle, when you are right at the mountaintop. And guess what? When you hit that plateau of saying this is the highest peak, you look across the other side and you see somebody else who also reaches there. Only one of you can claim it here. And with that much pressure, everything sort of just fades away, and all the responsibilities and all the expectations are going to be on your shoulders. This is going to be the heaviest fight of these two teams' lives and careers.
Yep. Real quick before the draft begins, let's talk about why this happens, all right? How come 2 games in a row, Brainy Sports owns the first half, and then later on, at a very, very defined moment, I'm guessing if the numbers are correct, it'll fall somewhere between the 10 to 12 minute mark. Things just fall sideways. We'll get to the answer later, all right? I want you guys to think about the answer. I want y'all to consider all the factors as to why it happened. We have 2 games to look back to, while I tell the good folks at home watching that we are pleased to announce the launch of the new anniversary season of Magic Chess Blazing Hammer. The new adventure will officially begin on January 30th. There's a new upgrading system called Blessing, new little commander and map. All synergies will be revamped, and free trial of advanced skins await you. Once more, this is Battle Night happening on January 30th. Log in to claim your free permanent skin. All right, Teacher Leo in the building, who wants to go first and try to answer?
Mr. Leo, pick me.
Get in queue.
Okay, so with the lineups that we've been seeing for the Burmese schools, for a large majority of the way they kind of been playing this game, they like to kind of play around, especially marksmen who have a item power spike, and specifically 2 item power spikes. Those are going to be in the meta ones that we're looking for, and the same goes for mages who are falling into that same sort of region here. The Hariths, the Lunox. By 12 minutes, if you are so far behind that you can't get 2 items, I don't know what to say. You've pretty much already lost the game. And Bren Esports so far, I think the major problem that they get into is once they hit that 11-minute mark, they're thinking, I gotta finish this game, I gotta finish this game, I gotta finish this game, and tunnel vision making very careless plays when really they should be waiting for Lord.
Yeah, this is definitely the point out there because they should play the bigger macro game out there just to ensure, okay, all these normal things that you should be looking out for. Waves, is it checked? Have you been pushing out those turrets? And if the Lord's not coming up by then, yeah, just keep repeating it.
All right. So far, answers in. Locking them in, all right. Information overload. Butters, before we get to your answer, that's the draft starting. Diggy taken out as well as usage in by Bren Esports, and the Burmese Ghouls get rid of Esmeralda, waiting on that back shot. Now, why do you think Bren falls off?
I mean, it's all about the hero choices. Like, you pick an assassin, a Lancelot. Lancelot is hard is easy to use up until the 12-minute mark. When you get past that first Lord, that is going to be your only opening. So it's hard to end a game against Burmese Ghouls that fast.
Guys, there's a Brody online.
Natalia hasn't been banned out. Boxia hasn't been banned out. This is, ooh, boy. I don't know what to say about this, but it looks like Bren, being on the blue side, wants to take full advantage of the fact that, hey, you've been using Yishin Shin, Diggy, as well as Claude a little too efficiently. Chop, 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 chop.
Yeah.
Let's cut him right at the ankle.
Yeah, I guess 6 games in a row seems to be enough of a litmus test to understand what makes things tick. And right now, Burmese Ghouls say, all right, well, let's go back to what's been working. Yu Zhong and Baksha, no hard counter out there for you, Bren. This is the Burmese way. Contra, you were saying?
Yeah, I was about to say that, you know, they want to go back towards the drawing board, not look towards assassins anymore. They were also great in playing all these marksmen, like, you know, we saw the Claude, but now you have that triple S tier pick, Brody.
Yeah.
So this triple S tier pick should be getting them pretty much ahead, but pairing it up is going to be pretty vital against this Baxier.
Natalia Silvana, that's my guess.
Oh,
That could be. And Alice and Aluna.
Completely
Okay.
off.
what?
Completely off.
What?
Okay, so they just addressed the problem at hand. They just pick it. They know Burmese Ghouls really really ban out the Alice for the second phase.
Oh,
So yeah, it's fair. Like Bren Esports, they ban out the Diggy, right? They also ban the Claude. These are heroes that Burmese Ghouls really use, and Ace plays a mean Claude.
I'm not going to disagree, but my big question is, like, why would you play Alice into the Boxia? You know Boxia has already been locked in. You can visibly see it.
yeah, that's like obviously picking a rock in your opponent's paper, right?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're one move away from tic-tac-toe, and all of a sudden you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to throw it out
Like,
there.
this is the defense right here. I just go off. But
Yeah.
back to the bans, we'll figure out what Bren is thinking here. Burmese Ghouls, they ban out the Jawhead. So yeah, obviously a read. Of the 3 rows in mid, they did not fill Lusty just yet. Bren Esports banning out the Harith. Yeah, I think this is a block on Ruby DD.
Definitely a block on towards his side, and now with Harith being banned away, they're definitely getting Burmese Ghouls having so little to work with. But then again, I could be wrong here. But what are the chances here if Brent Esports go ahead, steal a copy of the homework once again, take a Grok, an offensive Grok, throw the bodies like how Burmese Ghouls throw the bodies, now that they have that layer of the Lunox in between?
Very possible, but do note it's the Burmese Ghouls who are going to go for the pick first. As soon as things come back around. Bren Esports, they can ban out another side laner, or they can ban out a hero from Ace. Ace does not have a hero just yet.
Natalia, oh boy.
I feel that Hayabusa is going to be a great ban for the side of Bren Esports. It can close the gap between Brody and the Hayabusa, but Bren go for the Lapu that up for their side.
Beats me at this point. Beats me. But I think, you know, Bren, they just needed to ban something. I mean, Boxia would have been fine against the Lapu or the Yuzong in these situations. You just have to kind of wait till level 4, clear the waves, and do your job A-okay. Now, Bren, they're going to be locking in the Benedetta. However, previously, Burmese Ghouls going to be locking in the Farsa as their pick.
I feel like this is a little bit greedy with the picks, or is this going to be that mid lane Benedetta that we are seeing right here?
I think it's okay. It's the best that they got. And right here, right now, this is the Bren Gambit. Like, they're just picking heroes that are good for them so far. And yeah, Burmese Ghouls. Butters, you said it earlier.
Oh.
They needed the Hayabusa. It did not get banned. And yeah, now I see why the Lapu-Lapu might have been a burn.
This is deadly. Double assassin team composition for Burmese Ghouls. The last time we saw Hayabusa, do refresh me, when exactly was that?
It was when Bren took a series as well, earlier today.
Yeah.
Earlier today. Side lane Hayabusa.
Side lane Hayabusa. I don't know, because the important thing for specifically the Burmese Ghouls is just that wave control, and it's going to be a little bit difficult in the earlier stages of the game. You don't have the items, so you naturally have to depend on EXP to help you clear it out, but it's not the fastest. Bren on the other side, they've got some decent, and I say decent wave clear at best, but they are an extreme, but they do have a Brody, and I don't know if Brody can compensate for all of that.
Honestly, it's definitely a tough question to answer right now because you got double assassins on deck. So if that OG Shadow kill alongside with the Tyler trolling behind, like, what can you do?
I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Game number 6 could end right here, right now. This is the Burmese Ghouls versus Bren Esports. The age of Myanmar MLBB might as well be upon us.
You know, we're going in towards this championship point right here for the likes of Burmese Ghouls, but I'm thinking that Bren Esports, they have finally gotten enough of that tenacity. They know that it's been so many matches that we've been playing upper brackets, lower brackets, and we've made it thus far. But now, it's going to be Lusty with a temp.
Okay, Lusty is going to try and deny maybe from this buff here. They want to just make sure that Ace, he goes and gets the wave, but still manages to come back to pick it up. Not so bad overall. Didn't even have to use Retribution. However, 3 executes for the side of Burmese Ghouls. They're going to make sure they kill that one poor soul.
And Carl Teasy here is going to be the possible target of those executes. Probably Flap as well, since they don't really have the hold on that Benedetta. But yeah, I mean, Bren Esports just go for the information. Burmese Ghouls just trying to get their level 4, and probably they're gonna have a team fight by the time that Ruby DD hits level 4.
Did Lusty just pop that flicker for not much of a reason, and now he's being stuck in between? I'm not too sure if this is definitely the good call coming from Bren Esports, but View tries to pressure the rest of Burmese Ghouls all the way backwards. So lucky enough, he will be able to escape. But Dino, this is first blood for Kaltizi.
And this is usually the pacing of our early game. Bren Esports gets the early lead. Burmese Ghouls become disciplined. They don't take the risky plays, and they usually take the game back before the mid-game spike hits.
I mean, we're going to have to wait and see whether this is going to be the same case again. It also depends on how much of a lead that Bren is able to develop. But on top side, a lot of contestant here, especially between Ruby DD and with the help of Kid. It's becoming a bit tough, but Kid doesn't necessarily... Oh, he's kind of low here. This is going to be risky for both sides. Now, the fight is going to work here. Kid is going to be able to find that execute on to Joe, and unfortunately, that's going to be Burmese Ghouls picking this up, and it's going to be Farsa going to be zoning the rest out. Phew! He's kind of low, and now... Oh! The headshot with the flames!
What a long range. I think that's actually a max range flame shot that we're seeing. Trying to go in for the body block, but... Oh boy, still gets caught out. Feels bad, not gonna lie.
So what happened there? Bren Esports, they had Flap only at level 3. He didn't have the Electro Final Blow. Burmese Ghouls, their course, were at level 4, so they had a better time just controlling that certain fight.
Turtle, that much important, especially at a key point in the game. Now, Bren, okay, fine. You get it. You get 2 kills. We're able to trade 1. You get a turtle. No big deal. No big deal. Now you have to start looking for the punish. But Kid, he drops down the smoke screen as well with the help of D, actually behind him with the feather airstrike to make sure they are punishing Flapteezy as much as they can.
This is a battle between Lusty and Kid on how good they are at finding each other. So the one who's it is going to be Lusty, and the one who's hiding is always going to be Kid.
For sure, for sure. With the kit on kit, definitely it's a lot more harder in this game of hide and seek, but you know, Flapteasy is gonna have to contribute in towards the late game because at least this side of Brent Esports, they have some insurance, and here comes the fight.
Oh, maybe he's already starting the initiation with RBDD jumping into the backline. Cartesi's now in trouble, but now Rebo taking a full hit of the Oki Shadow kill. Really clean initiation coming in from the Burmese Ghouls, but does Brent want to look for some, you know, retribution kills? No, it looks like they back away.
Over on the mid side though, D easily just flutters away, but opening up towards the top lane, Burmese Ghouls will be able to secure not only gold, but okay, just gold for the moment, but Lusty going for the catch on towards Ruby DD. They try to make a run. Wave of the Dragon already connects, and there goes Yuzong.
Yep.
All right, now Burmese Ghouls, they do have the triple execute setup, but they don't have the flicker. So if they get caught out, they don't have that way to create a gap. Bren Esports, Burmese Ghouls really just wants to go at it at Bren Esports. They just want to stay near Rebo there, almost going down, and maybe to secure the kill.
Yep, they sacrificed Rebo for the sake of Turtle here, and now Brent Esports, they gotta make sure that they are constantly looking to try and initiate a lot of these fights. But Kid, he's gonna be walking in, doesn't drop the smoke screen and just wants to focus on the wave, maybe coming in from the flag, lands on top a few for now, drops up to Toys Poissons, but again, no real initiation and no real commitment from the Burmese Ghouls.
Have you seen the pattern just yet? Every single time that they go for a turtle, it's like, yeah, go take the turtle, I'm gonna punish Rebo on the side lane, and this has been happening from many of these games, and now Flapteasy managed to actually make a little bit of the move, but maybe is so bold on this move, but he catches few instead. Order spins being popped up as they all get knocked up in the air. Wave of the Dragon will get a kill for Easy.
Ruby DD trying to get on top of it, but it's not looking too good. He gets hit by the execute coming in from maybe. A few manages to get on out of there. Now the Feather Airstrike does come down to Kitten, forcing a retreat, but he can't really do too much as he's just sitting down hoping he doesn't die. He knew he was going to die, so he just runs back, says emo, hello, hello, goes down over to Kaltizi.
Burmese Ghouls, they got punished a bit. And now, that should be you, Contra. But Bren Esports, I was passing it to you, but Bren Esports, Ruby DD is their next target. Yuzong here gets caught out, but do they have enough damage?
Yeah, they do, and they managed to get that pick, and that's what they were looking for. Honestly, y'all had a moment there. Y'all made eye contact. I felt real uncomfortable there for a second.
Do you want to join?
No, please. I'd like to look at the game.
It's not just there in 3 ways anyway, so with that, Bren Esports now focusing on towards the turret. I'm thinking that this kid is going pretty huge, but here comes Lusty, flushing out maybe, but good news for Bren Esports, they finally get a turret right here, and the insurance policy that I mentioned in the form of Kaltizi actually working very well for them.
Yeah, it's going well, and you know, Ace, he's getting that push onto that mid lane here, but maybe he's trying to distract them as much as possible with the Toys Poissons. But Kaltizi, he's not really into the idea. Something is up, and RubyDD does come from the engage on towards that flagging through mid, but few not all about it as well. It goes into that Brilliance, but this is where the fight is going to get interesting. Rebo can decide to actually go in. This is it. Lusty looking for an opportunity to jump on it. RubyDD is trying to hold him up, but D into a sideways. They don't realize it. They're going in huge. The Feathered Airstrike trying to chunk down few, but Lusty is able to cancel it off. They pick him off. There goes Kid. There goes D. And now the entire backline is gone. Brent keeps on focusing on the front line. RubyDD is the next to fall. A double kill coming in from Flapteasy. And maybe he just needs to sacrifice his life to allow Ace to live for the greater good.
What did I tell you? This is a great activation coming from Brent Esports, and they can't find the answers to Kaltizi at all.
This is just a back and forth between these two teams. And Ace almost getting caught out, but there is going to be Kid trying to take down Carl.
Can they pull this off, though? I mean, okay, Flame Shot coming out just to double-check the brush here, but I have to give it to Brent Esports. Leslie, he has been such a pivotal point for this team, literally with at least a 70% KPA kill participation in this entire game. It is just phenomenal how he keeps on trying to get on D.
Yeah, just looking at the current situation here, like, a lot of things have been expended in that sort of fight, and Brent Esports having 1 minute away from that Lord it's definitely going to be huge if they can get something out of this mid lane. Blade of Despair already being purchased by Ace.
Oh, D, he's once again, he's gonna really take it there. But now Few, he's on the run. He doesn't want to be a part of this though.